Hello, hello, hello. Man, it's colder than heck here in Omaha. It's Saturday, April 29th. It's supposed to be spring, and they're talking about snow tomorrow. And the high today is only supposed to be 40 degrees. And somehow the climate has not been impacted by human activity. Okay. So, as I told you, I have a record to review. I now have two records to review. Let me get to those, and I may talk a little bit after that too. So, I had mentioned to you that a friend of mine passed away, a local musician. It did make the national metal news. You know, I knew about Jeff's local stuff, but it turns out that he had toured for a time with a metal musician by the name of Thor, and so that made a couple of metal magazine blogs about Jeff's passing, which really pleases me to know that he was remembered. But review time. So I showed you yesterday, I got this album in the mail from a Jeff Hayes Selections out of Portland. Well, Jeff is actually lived in Omaha for a time. I don't know if he is from Omaha, but I'm somewhat familiar with him from the music scene. I think we played some shows together. I remember when he was working at a local studio. Anyway, Jeff had contacted me and asked me if I would review his record. And at first he just sent me a link to Bandcamp, and I said, I am really averse to doing digital only reviews, because once that floodgate gets opened, I won't be able to stop it. So then he said, well, no, I put it out on vinyl, so I'll send you a copy, which I appreciate. So here it is, small label out of Oregon, Somewhat Records, purple vinyl, heavy, 180 gram, I think. So I'm glad that I took time. My first impression of this was, and so Jeff, you know I'm honest, okay, and I already told you. So my first impression is the way the album starts, which is, you know, Jeff plays all the instruments. And the first thing I noticed is the drumming, okay? So let's get that out of the way. Jeff plays all the instruments, but he's not a drummer. And so me being a drummer and really into drums, I notice it right away, okay? Most people, I don't think, you know, I can't predict the listening habits of others. What I'd like to say, honestly, is this album just gets better. Once I got past that first track, those drums really distracted me. They're loose, okay? That's what I'll say, all right? However, that's minor, because the overall picture of music going on is very interesting, psychedelic, at times hazy and woozy, at other times very clear and acoustic, other times kind of playfully electronic. The title of this album, Selections, is good because Jeff doesn't just give you one style of music, and he does them all. As the album goes on, it gets better. Actually, Jeff, I've got to tell you that I do like this. The way it started put me off, okay? I don't imagine that a lot of people will notice as much as I do, okay? Drums. Drums are super important to me, super important to me. Am I giving this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm giving it a thumbs up. The main thing that I can tell you about this is, for those that like music that has, there are references here, but I don't know that they're conscious. Because of my age, I think of people like Nick Drake, Syd Barrett, Fairport Convention, Bert Jansch, because there's all that, I hear all that in the mix of music as well as some electronic things. Ramshackle charm is the way that I would put this. There is a ramshackle charm to this. Kind of a bedroom feel, homemade feel. I'll leave the link. I think some of you folks will really like this. Actually, Jeff Hayes, thank you for sending me the record, okay? Let me keep going with my review of the new Mew album. So, I went ahead. Mew's new album was released yesterday. I gave myself permission to have some vinyl therapy by going and buying a copy, because I just, I live really close to the bone, people. I don't care what you think. You're not here. You don't know my situation. I live close to the bone. I'm able to keep the roof over my head. I'm a starving musician, okay? I don't have any money. So, it's a big deal to buy a record. That's why I love it when people send me records. That way I get records, okay? I can get something new. Went down to Homer's, and they had the limited edition 3D cover. It comes with 3D glasses. Let me show them, because they're kind of cute. Mew 3D glasses for the cover. And this was just what I needed yesterday. Besides mourning the passing of my friend Jeff yesterday, another VC member, Daryl Washington, and I will say this out loud, Daryl Washington made a suicide threat on Facebook and got everyone up in arms. And people really reacted strongly, emotionally, kind of typical, because most people don't have experience dealing with this. I weighed in and said something, trying to add a calm voice. It was misconstrued, and then I was attacked. Someone actually came out. I was, it's disappointing. It's a person that I've never met but thought was a friend, but apparently he believes bullshit. Actually come out and said, because he didn't like, let me get this out, okay? I'll get back to this, okay? I deal with so much shit, folks. I do need to process it and tell you about it, because it's related to this channel. But this person, I won't say his name, I bet you still watch me, actually came out and accused me of being heartless and a scamming bullshit motherfucker, just because he did not understand my comment to Daryl and to others about Daryl's cry for help, what it really means. And I was just encouraging people, you losing your heads and crying wolf at Daryl isn't helping him. That's for you. I have experience with this personally as well as professionally. It wasn't meant well because people were in an emotional state. It doesn't change the fact that I knew what I was saying and that I felt it was time to say it. However, this person, because he did not understand the nature of my words, and because he believes some bullshit about the tooth fund that was not, it was not misused at all. It wasn't. Officially, okay? But people, just, especially certain types of people, I noticed it's certain kinds of people that have the problem, okay? And when I found out who this person was, it fit, trying to assign, in essence, assigning their problems to me, okay? Not having it, okay? But that happened on top of grieving for Jeff's death. So when I called Homer's to find out whether or not they had gotten a physical copy, and they said they did, I didn't hesitate to run down and spend $25.98 for a copy of this album. Now, if you guys remember, Mew's last album was my album of the year. And I meant it. This is much better than that album. I love this band. Love this band. This is much better than the last album that they put out. Can't even recall the title of it, okay? Much better. When I first discovered Mew, the way they hit me was the same way that Peter Gabriel era Genesis hit me when I first heard them. In about 73 it was. Let me grab the album to illustrate. I first became aware of Genesis when they released Nursery Crime, but the album if I heard it, didn't make an impression. The cover did. But the first time I heard Foxtrot by Genesis, it stopped me in my tracks. It actually frightened me, that opening chord on the Mellotron. It was so what I had been looking for. It was scary. It was because it was mystical, it was spiritual, and it was mysterious, all of the and strange all at the same time. Very imaginative. And when I first heard excuse me Frengers by Mew, I had the same impression. The way that first song starts, Am I Rhino? The way it starts, it's like, what is this? And then it's epic the way it builds. It's like, we're going to take a journey here. Here's something's about to happen. And the band has built upon it. That wasn't a fluke. The comparison still fits for me, that this is my modern day Genesis. This music is pop and prog at the same time. My immediate favorite song on here right now is the track called I. And it's got those kind of chord changes and that yearning feeling that is suggestive of something that is beyond words, hard to explain, but something big, something important, something grand and majestic. And the song I on this album really gets that. And then so it's like I'm listening to it and I'm hearing his voice, and it's got all this deepness in it, and it's like, what is he saying? So I go and look at the words, and this is exactly, again, why I focus on the music, because I don't know if these words mean anything, but Jonas Bjerre has a very interesting way of putting words together. You know, they make you want to know what he's saying. So like for the chorus in this, it kept catching my ear. And what is he saying? So I look at it and he's saying, your parents are legal, your parents are lethal. Whatever it means or doesn't mean, the way he sings it gives it a lot of feeling and meaning beyond knowing what it means, which I think is fantastic. The other thing I want to say about this band is the band, to me, give off light. They give off light. Even though when I listen to the album, it goes through many different moods. I look at the words, and some of the words are kind of strange. The overall effect of this music is one of light, not darkness. Okay? Mew. I'll shout from the rooftops how good I think this band Mew is. I think they're just great. I think they're one of the best bands in the world, for my taste. I really do. So, absolutely resounding thumbs up for Mew's new album. You know, right quick, I never bought it because I wasn't that impressed. But back when the band The War on Drugs came out, there was so much hype about them. I found myself about a month ago starting to wonder, well, whatever happened to that band, The War on Drugs? There was all this talk about that band, and then all of a sudden, nothing. A few weeks later, here we hear, new album coming. You can just sense these things. I can. To go back to my own immediate culture, African-American culture, hip-hop and rap, I just wanted to state for the record for folks, because I think people watch me and think I don't know about it. Think that they're going to tell me about it like I don't know anything about rap. I know about rap. Last Poets. Do you know about Last Poets? Okay. Way before rap was going on, way before hip-hop, this happened. And these guys were on the cutting edge, not concerned about being politically correct, not concerned about offending anyone, really telling it like it is to the black community as well as to the community at large. Last Poets, okay? These cats are still around. Like Gil Scott-Heron, they were way ahead of the game. And I'd like to proudly tell you that not only did I know about this album, and my older sister had a copy when it came out, but my two sisters and my older brother and I, when we were in junior high school, put together a group, and for a talent show, we performed a Last Poets track for the talent show. Well, nobody else had the balls to do that, okay? You know, I don't need nobody coming in trying to school me about hip-hop and rap like I don't know about it. I know about it. Do I have an attitude? Hell, the fuck yes, I got an attitude. I get tired of people talking to me like I don't know what I'm... Just making the assumption, you know, I'm going to school you. Shit, please. I love it when it does happen. I do get schooled sometimes, but mostly not by the people who think they're gonna. Which is fun. I like that. Okay, enough of this, because I know some people don't like that about me. But I don't care. This is who I am, and that's why I do it. You know, this is me. You know, you keep coming around. I guess you really like me. You can't stay away. Are you mad now? I hope so. Take a look at yourself, okay, and don't throw your shit at me like it keeps happening. I do this because it keeps happening, people. People are really, really low. We got some really sick people in this world, you know, and I'm on to them. Here's an album that you find in dollar bins, and it's a shame. This album is really quite excellent. It's a mixture of fusion, progressive rock, and R&B. David Sanchez, just as I thought. You might know him from playing with Bruce Springsteen. For a while he was with Peter Gabriel. But this album is really good, and it takes elements of Genesis prog all the way to fusion a la Return to Forever. This is a very good album. It's not consistent. There's a couple fillers on here, but if you see this for $1, you could spend much worse. Here's one that was given to me that up until last night I didn't think it was any good. Martin DeClear, So Close Yet So Far Out. I forget who gave this to, well, I do remember now, but I forget his name. He's been gone from the VC for a long time. But Martin DeClear was a member of the band The Legendary Pink Dots, as well as Teargarden. Guitar player. I really enjoyed this last night. Ended up playing 2 of the 4 sides of this. It's got that kind of low-key psychedelia about it. It's like it's not real overwhelming. It's like if you let it play, then it sucks you in. I even hear traces of like gong, not on the surface, but in the feel. So this was pleasant. Martin DeClear. If you see that, pick up on that. Let me see what else. I played this recently. Oh, also, besides my radio show, I am still doing the minute segments for Stupid Morning Bullshit on Adult Swim. They just ordered more shows. One of the albums I featured in one of the albums I feature in one of them is this Dutch band, Super Sister, Present from Nancy. They were very much influenced by Soft Machine and got that Canterbury type of prog sound down. I love this band and this album. And that cover, but this is a reissue. The original came out on Gatefold, but this is still an early, it's on the actual original label. Great band, Super Sister. Check them out, seriously. Look at those hippies. Anything else here that I haven't shown right quick before I go? Well, I'll do this. Closeness. This is one of my favorites. New albums. Closeness. In Murmuration on side 2 is my jam right now. Not just because they're my friends, but because this is really good. Really good. Okay. 100 Days of Trump. What's it been like so far? It's been 100 days of absolute bullshit and bullshit. What we have is a spoiled brat, rich spoiled brat who wanted to be the big cheese. I want to be president. He didn't give a fuck about doing anything for anyone. He just wanted it for his ego. And he got it. And now that he has it, doesn't know what to do with it. He's got the nerve to bellyache about, I didn't know it would be so hard. Yeah, selfish bitch. I'm speaking out in outrage, not just for me, but a lot of people. So for some reason, if you take personally me expressing my anger and outrage at a president who doesn't represent the country he supposedly leads, that's on you. I'm not wrong doing this. I have a right. There's a lot of justified outrage about this selfish punk who fooled everybody into thinking he was going to do something for the common man. God, please. And people are still making excuses. It's like there's some kind of sickness on this planet, some kind of virus. They put something in the water and people are like, it's like reasonable thinking and objectiveness have left the building. So 100 days of shit. That's what I got to say about Trump. Once again, please don't misunderstand what I'm doing here. I'm expressing justified frustration and anger. There's no reason for you as a viewer to take my words personally. If you do, that's a reflection of some kind of problem you have processing other people expressing themselves. I ain't talking about you. Don't even know who you are. Get it? Get it? Okay. Be well.